Today we're going to be installing our emergency brake cables and actuator and also discussing automatic rivet guns. Hi everyone and welcome to the channel about kit cars and other car topics. If you like what you see, please subscribe and hit the notification buttons below and share with others on social media. So as you just saw in the last video that we painted all our panels with lizard skin and U-Pull Raptor. And now that that's done, I'm going to probably do a few odds and ends, and then we're going to hop into starting to create the center console for the car, which I'm going to be building out of wood. And then later on it will be wrapped in some kind of leather or something like that. I haven't gotten that far in the stage yet. But so it's probably been the videos. I'm not sure if it is, but I've been having problems with my emergency brake cables, not really understanding where they go and how they work, and having 2 extra feet of wire or cable, if you will, coming out of the sheathing. And I'm sitting there going, what the hell is this? This doesn't make any sense to me. And the manual doesn't go in that much detail about this stuff. So when I sent it to my buddy Seth, he's like, those aren't the cables for this car. And I'm like, well, that would make sense then. So here I am for months. Like, I don't know what's going on with this. And I just got brand new cables sent to me. So we're going to see if that works and hopefully get that done on the car. So here's one of my panels that is all done, except there is a hole. There's a big black plate that's attached to the frame, and then there's a hole there that you can see through. So I could have painted this, blue to match the car, but I think just because of lighting and everything with this hole that you're really not going to see that much anyways. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually make this black. And so it's just going to go away in the car. Not a big deal. So I need to mask off everything, spray this black, and then this panel will be finished, and basically all the panels will be finished at that point. So I'm going to do that first, and then we'll work on the brake lines. So as you saw, or possibly didn't see, because the exhaust pipe I moved was blocking my camera angle, you know, I put a few rivets in. Rivet. I put a few rivets in, and, you know, that sucked. So it was like, you know what? I'm starting to put panels in the car. It's time to go get that, you know, automatic rivet gun that, you know, I spec'd a long time ago. So, so I did a little bit more research because I'm like, well, maybe there's something battery operated instead of pneumatic or whatever. And basically it came down to, you know, two items that I thought were worthy. One was the medium version of the Harbor Freight tool. It's not the cheapest, it's not the most expensive. So it's about, after you buy all the parts, because, you know, Harbor Freight, they sell you the tool, but then you have to buy the inlet, and then you have to buy the oil to put into it. And so after you're all done, you know, it's always $10 extra. Even if you buy pneumatic hoses, you get the hose, but then you have to buy the ends, and then you're, you know, $8-9 more. So, but it's still better than spending $500 or whatever for something that you're going to do, you know, once every 3 years or something. So the two main options, I have DeWalt system for my batteries, and so I was like, well, maybe I could find an electronic version that goes with my DeWalt system, and I did. It's a Stanley Pro version, so I looked up the price, and it was $3,000, and I was like, well, yeah, I don't think I need that. So, so the two main things I came up with is the medium Harbor Freight, which is pneumatic, and then the Milwaukee cordless electronic 12-volt. That one's really nice too. However, the tool alone is $200, and then the battery is, you know, $59 plus, and, you know, then the charger is whatever. And so at the end of the day, you're going to spend $300. And normally I would buy that, but again, even though it's lithium batteries and lithium batteries last a long time and stuff, not if you're not using it for 3 years or whatever. And so I kind of decided, you know what, I'm going to give this pneumatic tool a shot and kind of go from there. Now, a lot of people have bitched about getting into the bottom of these things to oil them, and it looks like they've changed the design. So I don't think that's, supposedly, I haven't done it yet, I don't think that's necessarily valid. So we'll see, but I need to oil this thing up, and so we're going to dig into that, and then we're going to try this thing out and finish up those panels. Another side note, so I was going to do my center console, and then I was talking to my buddy, and he's like, well, we could do it all out of aluminum, and I have aluminum and a brake system at the shop, and we can cut and bend and do whatever you want. And I was like, oh, cool, okay, well, maybe I won't do it out of wood. But then I started thinking about it, and I would like some nice round over edges and things like that, and I don't want just like a square box. I want something with a little bit more contour. And so I think I'm going back to my wood design. I think it's going to be a little bit more sturdier, less hollow in a sense. And so I'm going to stick with that plan. So we'll see how it goes with getting this stuff all set up. And then maybe we'll be hopping on that center console, or maybe in the next video. So the emergency brake installation went okay. Of course, it's a lot easier when you have the right part. And installing the actuator was actually not too bad. I just had to tap a hole through the frame, as you saw. The Harbor Freight rivet gun actually worked out really, really well. In fact, I don't know if you saw, but on the back end of the gun was a clear plastic stud catch, or whatever you want to call it, where all the extra studs come out once you're done riveting. There's a slot in there to easily dump them out. Well, since I'm upside down and I didn't want them to fall, I used a little piece of blue tape just to keep them in there. And so I got, 25 to 50 of them in there, and then I'd open up the tape, dump them out, pop it back in, it was all good to go. So it turns out the actual unit comes oiled from the factory. Now, you might not want to, assume that, but after taking that all apart, which was a little bit difficult, it was really tight, I got that apart and I added a little bit of oil, but it was pretty much full of oil. So I would say you could just use it right out of the gate, and then put a little oil inside the inlet of your air area, which is suggested, but the actual hydraulic oil itself, I think, was fine. You could use it for a year, or however many, thousand hits or whatever you want to call it, and then change the oil. But so far so good. It worked excellent, and I'm really happy with that purchase. So stay tuned for the next video where I really dig into the center console and start chopping up some wood. Have a great day.